Hey everybody, sorry for the late start. I had to travel back from another city and I was going to do this in the car, but it just was too sunny and too intense. So here I am. Anyway, I'm going to try to make this one quick. We'll see what happens. I want to talk about the present, the power of the power of the present moment. And everybody understands that being present is powerful, that being present is advisable. Mindfulness is a big thing. You know, it's all true when you're present, when someone's present. When you're present, you are actually here, and you're here to interact with others and to perceive, you know, your environment and to make choices and so forth. But I want to talk about presence from a deeper perspective. And tomorrow, unless I change the plan, I'm going to talk about forgiveness in a way that you might not have heard in the past. Super powerful, super powerful. But a prelude to that is the idea of presence. So let's just do a quick little going in, if you will. And I'd like you to imagine that time is a line. We talk about a timeline. So let's say on the left is the past, and it goes back, 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 you know, way farther than anyone could see. And then on the right is the future, you know, infinitely going forward in time, to the point where we can't imagine. And then what connects the past and the future is the present. So that's where we are right now. But let's just take a moment, now that we're imagining that, to go inside, close your eyes, and imagine that the past is falling off. So that long line where where you are right now is weighted down by the past. Just imagine that past, not just your past. Yes, everything that's happened in your life, good, bad, and in between, it's falling off. It's just dropping into like an infinite void. And at the same time, the future, all the anxiety and the worry is dropping off into that void. And what goes with it is not just your past, but our collective past, all the things that we know to be true, that we know not to be true, that we know to be possible, that we know to be impossible, just falling off, sloughing off, falling into that void. And then the future, my eyes aren't closed, but yours should be. Everything that we could imagine happening, our collective beliefs, our personal beliefs, fears, anxieties, you know, we tend to project the past on the future, and that's where we live. So that's falling off. Now, where was that past and future that just fell into a void? In your mind, right? In your awareness, in your memory, in your thought structure. So what's left? Just keep imagining now the past falling off, the future falling off. When you have a thought that's based on the past, monitor your thoughts just right now. We're just doing a little, you know, gentle exercise, a little gentle exploration. So when you have a thought that is about anything that happened, even what I said a few seconds ago, that now is the past. So let it fall down, let it fall into the void. If you have a thought or a feeling about where is this going, what's happening next, what is going to, let it fall off. And let's just do that for a minute, just quietly inside, letting the past fall off, the future fall off, the new past fall off, the future fall off. Just keep letting it fall off. Letting it fall, letting it fall. And watch your thoughts. Notice that most of the thoughts that you have are in some way based on the past, even if it's as simple as, what did she say? Or on the future, as simple as, where is this going? What's it going to do for me? That's past, future. Just keep noticing and letting it fall off. We'll just do that for a moment. And I want you to notice that in between the past and the future is you. As these thoughts are falling off in our imagination, falling off the timeline, where are we? And if the word that I said a second ago is falling off into the past, or the word that I'm going to say in the future is falling off into the future, falling off into that void, what's left? And you'll notice if you allow yourself to, just be with this, that the present doesn't actually exist. So we're all about being in the present moment, but the truth is the present moment doesn't actually exist, because as soon as you can define it, as soon as you can talk about it, it's either part of the past or part of the future. So where is that present moment? That present moment actually exists in what Kabbalah calls an omek, O-M-E-K. An omek literally means depth, but in terms of Hasidus and Kabbalah, in mystical Torah terms, an omek actually means a connection between two things of this dimension that the connection comes from another dimension. So how can you connect past and future? How can you connect light and dark? How can you connect any two opposites that have no intrinsic connection? One example of this idea of the omek, of the depth, is a corner. It's a very physical example, but if you're sitting in a room or if you're looking at a building and there are two walls that are perpendicular to each other, there's a corner in between them and it connects them. But which part of the corner is this wall and which part of the corner is that wall? And the more precise you get, the more detailed you get in terms of trying to define what's part of this wall or that wall, the more you get to the actual omek, which doesn't even exist. Dawn and dusk are examples of this. Like where does it become, when it's day, what's the exact moment when it becomes night and it's not day, or day and it's not night? Same with the present moment. There is no definable moment that you could call the present, because as soon as you can define it, it's part of the past or it's part of the future. If you already looked at it, if you already perceived it, it's part of the past. If you haven't perceived it yet, it's part of the future. So where does that omek exist? Where does the present moment exist? In a different dimension that's slightly below, slightly beneath this one. Or you could say slightly higher, slightly more in. It's really the inner dimension of our mental construct of time. The world actually was created, all the worlds were created with the foundation of time and space. What defines a world according to Kabbalah? That it moves in time and space. You can change places and you can change times. And that allows us to perceive ourselves as separate from Ein Od Milvado, from all there is. So what happens when you can step beyond for just a moment that perception of moving, like we're moving through time, just like we move through space? What happens? What's possible when you can step beyond that, when you can let go, let the past and future fall down into that void? What's possible in that undefinable moment that doesn't even exist in this dimension? What's possible? And just as I'm speaking, where's the present moment? Now, but I already said now, so that's the past. And I'm about to say now again, and that's the future. Where does it exist? Right here, but not here. Okay, this is a very powerful actual concept or distinction. In mystical Torah, in the temple, when the first and second temple existed here in Jerusalem, the first temple especially, there were mystical objects that had certain properties that were both physical and non-physical. The aron, the cabinet that contained the blocks, the stone blocks on which God had engraved the Ten Commandments, existed in a state of nimna nimnaot. It's called nimna nimnaot, which means it exists and it doesn't exist. This is the same idea at the present moment. So when if you had a room of, let's say, 10 meters from end to end, and the aron, the container of the luchos, of the tablets, was, let's say, 3 meters, I'm making up the dimension, 1 meter, so measured 1 meter from end to end, you could actually measure it. This isn't the actual dimensions, but just to illustrate, or let's say it was 2 meters, easier math, end to end. So it exists, it takes up 2 meters, and the room is 10 meters. But if you would measure from one end of the aron to that wall of the room, it would be 5 meters. And if you measured from the other end of the aron to the end of the room, this is the Kodesh Kadoshim, the Holy of Holies, the holiest part of the temple, it would also be 5 meters. So if the whole room is 10 meters, and in the middle of it is something that's 2 meters, and yet the space between that thing and the walls still adds up to 10 meters, that thing is physical and not physical. And why was that nimna nimna ot, why was that property resident in this container for the 10 commandments? Because it was a physical portal connecting heaven and earth, connecting man and God, connecting finite and infinite. Now, I hope some of you may be feeling, or maybe not, some of you may be not feeling what I'm feeling right now, which is a sense of the beyond. So I would like for you to be able to cultivate more and more and more a sense of the beyond, a deeper and deeper and deeper level of what's beyond our three-dimensional reality. What is the inner, what is underlying, what is the essence of what we experience here in the physical as human beings. We want to touch that place of the divine. We want to walk through that portal into the Omek, into the another dimension, a deeper dimension, because that's where we have the freedom to co-create, to generate new awarenesses, to make new decisions, to draw new co-creative power beyond anything that has existed in our past or anyone's past, or what anybody has projected into their own future or anyone's future. So the present moment, the Rebbe said that the present moment is the key to redemption, the key to Geula. And that when he advised that when a person is in any situation, rather than thinking about the past or planning for the future, on any level, even in the interaction, to be completely present. The more present you are. He described the state of presence as a person who's in that state of presence as a pnimi, someone who's inward, because the presence, the omet, it's inward, it's the inner. So this entire universe, including you and everything about your life, is the outer expression, costume, limited form over an inner essence which is infinite. All of time and space is like a costume or an expression or a limited form over what is truly infinite, which is the essence of the divine, the essence of God. When you can be in the present, and it's fleeting, you know, our linear mind doesn't encompass it so well, but what we can do is let the past drop off, like we did in the exercise, let the future drop off. When you let go of what you know, when you let go of past, future, even for a moment in your mind, because that's where they exist. So then you're automatically in the present. You just keep letting go. And in that present, you can pray, you can ask, you can align, you can allow. In that present, you can visualize. In that present, you can open to, listen to, experience. And you can be in that present state. And this is one of the most powerful places to be in it, when you're face to face with someone else. What if you could completely let go of the past and completely let go of the future? Not for your whole lifetime, don't worry. For that moment, for that conversation. If you can try this, and this is your fairy dust for today, to be in a conversation with someone between today and tomorrow, and actually see if you can be in the present, even for a moment or two. Notice what happens. I want you to report back. I want you to, if you're watching on YouTube, I want to see it in the comments. If you're watching on Facebook, I want to see it in the comments, okay, under the video. I really want you to do this, and I really want to hear how it works for you. You can be completely present with that person, meaning the past is dropping off, the future is dropping off. So you're not only present in the way that you listen to them, like your past experience, you're going to let go of it for a second. It's beyond that. It's everything about past and future you keep letting go of, and you're just there, listening, listening. I want you to experience what it feels like, if you can, to be right there, just there, and listening, and notice what changes in what you see with your eyes, what changes in what you hear with your ears, what changes in what you feel with your heart or with your body, with your energy. Because if you're able to be truly just there, I guarantee you something's going to be different. Maybe a lot of things are going to be different. And if you can't get to that just there, keep practicing. Okay? I'm going to suggest that if you, no, I'm not going to suggest that, because actually it could happen immediately. It could take a few tries. But you want to keep letting go. All it is letting go of the past, noticing the thoughts about the past, whether it's your past, the past of humanity, the past of your relationship with this person, the way you know them to be, or your future, like what you want when we are looking for an outcome, or often we listen to someone else and we're thinking about what we're going to answer them. So we're not really listening, or we're listening and trying to, interpret what they're saying even, which is better. It's more present, but it's not the present on the level of omic that I'm talking about. I would like you to experience what it feels like to, even for an instant, to step into the portal of beyond this level of time and space and into connection with someone else. You can also do this, not instead, but if you want to practice this also in prayer and connecting to God, if you can do this and you can be, invite God to be with you. Hashem, I want to feel what it's like just to be with you. I just want to be with you beyond past, beyond present. Just want to be in that place and see what that feels like and report back on that as well. Okay? Incredibly powerful, like many of the things that I'm sharing with you. Are they going to be powerful if you just listen to me? No, not for you. Where they get powerful is when you put them into action. And that's what this is about. We want to take the mystical concepts, which are, I shouldn't even say concepts. We want to take the mystical keys to a deeper reality, to a world of redemption, a world of heaven on earth, a world of divinity and essence revealed. We want to take the mystical keys to that and start bringing them into our awareness and then into our practice in this dimension. And that way we connect heaven, the essential universe, the God universe of all potential and all love and all blessings, and this world, which is anything but most of the time, right? So you are also a portal. You are also in potential. You are also an omic, because your soul, with its purpose, comes from another dimension and is still in that other dimension. It's your inner. It's right here, just in a dimension slightly deeper than the one that you're experiencing right now. So through connecting to the inner of you in that present moment and the inner of someone else and the inner of God, but the inner of God is in the inner of everything. So it's always there. You become a portal between heaven and earth and actually bring that deeper connection, that redemption, that divinity, that divine consciousness, that divine reality into your world and to all the world, because you're part of this world right now. So again, this is very powerful. The things that I am here to share with you, the things that I teach always are powerful truths for your life. They're meant to change your life. They're meant to transform your relationships, but at the same time, they're meant to transform the world. That's how it works when you begin to touch the inner. And especially when you connect to the divine consciousness of the Torah, which is the blueprint for creation. And I'll just give another little, I'm going to keep doing this at this point. If you would like to learn more direct from the sacred texts and to be able to have your questions answered and so forth, and to be part of a community who's doing the same, I invite you to check out the School for Spiritual Empowerment, Gate of Unity School for Spiritual Empowerment, www.gateofunity.com/school, www.gateofunity.com/school. Okay, that's it for today. Tomorrow, I think we're going to be talking about forgiveness, which in a way that you have probably never heard before. It's about changing the past. Okay, see you. Take care, everybody.